Hi, welcome to Jadekind Gaming. My name is Adam, and today I have another unboxing. I received this box in the mail just the other day from Reaper. The long-awaited Bones 3 Kickstarter has finally delivered. And for today, I'm going to pull out the Core Set. I got the Core Set and then some add-ons. I'm going to do the Core Set today, and then I will do another video, probably just a couple days. I'll put that up as well before I get to the add-ons. Basically, let me get this one opened up and edited and out to you quicker for the Core Set, and then that gives me a few extra days to do the other video. Alright. What do we have here? Let's go to the strapping. Package air again. And close that back up for next video. First thing is we got, again, I believe these are, well, it's some of the same options, only without the biggest one, of the bases that we'd gotten last time. This time put in a Ziploc bag. Unlike Bones 2, I'm not going to dump them all out on the table. And then we got, again, another nice box for Bones. Reaper, Bones 3 Core Set. And they almost have a little, their little promotion on the back. And of course, Bones was a Kickstarter. This is not generally, unless someone's got one through Kickstarter and is reselling it, not available. However, all of the minis then get sold as individual or sets or something from Reaper once the Kickstarter is finished delivering. So, while buying them just as a full set isn't an option anymore, this lets you take a look at what miniature options there are coming out from the Reaper Bones line. At least a lot of them, to the extent that I ended up purchasing things. We have 1, 2, interesting, 3, couple more interesting, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 separate little bags, some of them very small, but that's what's in there. And let's get down to the minis. Alright, so to start, I am going to take these bases and just show again here. These are the Reaper bases, indented on one side so you have a little spot for stuff, or nice flat on the other. Simple. Those were an add-on for the Core Set. Easy enough. I think I want to do weapons. I think these are weapon sprues, is what all these sort of odd thin ones are. Okay. So, okay. You can see here, basically each weapon is on here 2 different times. I want to say this is probably the angelic one, judging by the shield. Your sword, your spear, your dagger, the shields. I think that's a sheath. And maybe that's a mace or a hammer. Something like that. What's the backs? Backs of the shields are very plain. There's some plain spots on some of these, like the back of the sheaths. Sheaths are plain, but some of them are detailed on the backs, like the swords, which you might put into their hand, are detailed on both sides, so that it looks right if you do so. There's that. And then this seems to be the opposite sort of theme. with the skulls and death kind of set. You get your hammers, some shields. Ooh, these ones are nicer. These have little spots in the back where it's sort of being held, so a little more detailed there. And then we get axes and staffs and swords on here as well. There's some more weapons. These technically aren't the bones material. They're something else. They're like normal plastic. They have almost more weapons. Staffs, daggers. Daggers with dagger sheaths. What in the... Okay. Figured it out. They're little details, they have little skulls that go there. So I'm not sure exactly what they're intended for, but ultimately all of these are intended to mod other other figures. So, and here's more of the standard set: swords, spears, axes, hammers, crossbow, dagger, shield, which is flat on the back, mace and quiver, battle axe. Okay. Weird sort of... Okay, I'm looking at it, and it's like a rounded top here, and I almost feel like this might be something where the mold didn't completely finish. I might have to take a look, because otherwise usually they're all identical. If you notice, I didn't quite get the point over here on this axe. It's sort of all rounded, and these didn't seem to fill up all the way. Just seems like this little area around here, maybe the plastic didn't quite get into like it was supposed to. And then, bows. But anyways, I had swords there, so I'm not sure. I think those were supposed to be other swords, but can't quite tell, right? Now on to bags of actual minis. Alright, the first thing I notice is some of these are gray. They're not the bones white. And I'm almost noticing the ones that are gray are a set that I was actually quite looking forward to. So I'll pull those all out first. They do feel like the bones material, though, so... We have this guy here. Doesn't quite look so cowardly of a lion. This axe-wielding, armored Tin Man golem. I would like to say I do believe this monkey could fly. That is one wicked scarecrow. And I'm sure with her we'll know the difference of a good witch and a bad witch. And Dorothy has a gun, and we also have Toto. It's like a fancy Wizard of Oz set. Anyways, continuing on. Let's see. We have this armor, yeah, whatever. Heavy armor lady. Got a lizard folk with a really heavy bow. Another one. Lizard folk with a club, spiked club. Another one. Another one with a different pose. Anyways. Here we go. Not so bad having too many. They're your baddies, and you end up using them in swarms. This one has a really bent up spear. There are ways to fix that. This one's is curved, but not as bent up in a weird way. At this point, I'm just picking them all out to show off how many there are. And here we have Mr. Bones, I believe. So that is cool. A little bit of a chibi style figure. Looks neat. He's got a shovel. And he has Mrs. Bones here with him this time. And this just wants to move around. It's like a fireball with a face or something that she's casting, but it's like just barely holding on there. So kind of interesting, but I mean it's working. Let's see, another little hero guy. This one's a dwarf hero. More of a another dwarf. Could use NPC or hero mini. Dual wielding dwarf. Good to have. Okay. This one is actually on a little like pedestal, has this little built-in base. So very much feels like a heroic sort of mini sword and board lady. Got another one here. You know what? It's fantasy minis. You end up with plenty of your generic sort of could be heroes figures, and that way, you know, players get to choose those. This looks like more of a monster, and clearly this sword is supposed to go like that, but again, bones, sometimes the way they're packaged, they end up bent. You have to work on it with them a bit to get them to uncurve. I'm not sure if the retail packaging has the same issue. Missed one earlier. Anyways, we got this vulture on a tombstone. Archer here. Ranger sort of character. Which has... I almost thought it was like a snake, but it's just her hair sort of blowing in the wind. Yeah, whatever. Not the most detailed face. And of course, that is one of the things some of the bones have an issue with, is face detail. Got a little bit of a almost like samurai look to his outfit. The Oni lady. Remember, there was lots of talk about this one during the campaign. They were excited for that one to come out, so that's cool. That's like a wild looking dwarf guy. Something weird going on with his mouth where his... I mean, I think it's just his hair billowing away and the fact that his mouth is way back there, but... yeah, it's just giant mustache and facial hair. Dwarves, you know. They're weird like that. And, lady missing an arm. I wonder if I'll find that elsewhere, or if she's just crippled. Oh, yeah, she's got an arm missing there. So, watch out for that. That's a weird looking guy. It's a bit hairy. But, got a bow and arrow, I guess, on his back. Sword and board, what he's wielding now. A weird dwarf paladin lady, dual wielding hammers. Something like that. We have Sophie here, who comes in pieces. She's like 4 pieces there that she assembles, and that's how they're able to get some of the more unique shapes and poses and such. Sophie's their, whatever, the Reaper mascot, but, oh no, pieces falling apart. Ah! That's how they, that's their mascot. One of them, at least. Oh, and it looks like this bag isn't one in pieces, but rather bugs. These giant ticks. So just a few identical ones, and then again, same with weird centipede guys here. 4 of those as well. Moving on to another bag now. This is bag 3. I do not remember what the first one was labeled. We got sort of either cleric or could even be rogue-like cloaked character. That feels big. He looks kind of orcish too, so maybe he's supposed to. But sort of looks almost like an orcish merchant. He's got like huge amounts of stock. Maybe adventurer. Maybe that's an adventurer coming out of a cave. And he's loaded up on the treasure. So we have that. Oh yeah, I remember these. The Kinku, the bird people. Bird people. So that's a cool NPC and even player race option that you don't see a whole lot. Like halfling or gnome cook. Here's a fox lady sort of thing. I think. You kind of see that face, fox lady-ish. With a big weapon. And that looks like that might be like sort of maybe a monk even. Kind of looking like they're ready to punch you, so it's almost why I think that. Which you don't see a lot of unarmored minis. Like unarmed minis. Like, so that's cool. Werewolf. Nice size werewolf there. Big old Oni guy. Club. Got all that. This dude looks stupid. Like just looking at his face, he looks like he's not that intelligent. Really. Otherwise, big. Could be ogre or something like that, maybe. Another fox person. One's a guy. So, if that's a race in your world, it'd be nice to have some minis for that. Let's see. This guy has a lot of detail in his clothes there. Not really sure who he's supposed to be, though. Kind of guy with like a stick. That could be another half-orc kind of character. More adventuring type half-orc than the other one that could have been a NPC or a townsman. Ooh. Person has a hat on their back. That's nifty. A wereboar. That's cool. Running. Little Conan Barbarian looking guy, or He-Man, Master of the Universe type, whatever. Guy's got a big hammer. So don't get hit by it. It would hurt. Again with the benty bits. But big, heavily armored dude with a cape. A lot of these people have capes or cloaks or flowing hair even. It's like a blacksmith. She's got like a anvil on a log there and hammer, so she's like making stuff. That's a bug dude. Yeah, so we get some cool other species and races and such in this one, which is neat if you're, you know, trying to fill out your mini collection. Weirdly armored guy. Oh no. Poor piggy. I think it's like a dwarven butcher with his little, like, cuddling up against the pig that, based on that queaver, I don't think is going to last very long. Another raven guy. Raven creature. I think that's the ninja iconic from Pathfinder, if I remember correctly. Because they do some of them are licensed to like Pathfinder and such. And a gorilla with a spear and a loincloth. I think, yeah. Whatever. I mean, gorilla gotta be modest, right? But I guess it's better than. Could have been worse. That looks sort of almost cleric-like, paladin-like, with like a lantern. I feel like that's supposed to be a lantern up there. Big shield on their back. It's like they're, you know, holding the light ahead of them. Another raven person with a sword this one. Dwarf with a cask of, I'm sure it's iced tea. Generic hero dude, sword and board. Another two-potter. This one has his arm separate, so yeah, attach the arm. But again, that's how it goes away and back, and they can still get it out of the mold, so. It's another one of the big dumb-looking guy, ogre, troll, whatever it may be, by the time you paint it up, but big baddie kind of guy. This one's head comes separate, but I take it back. This one is the troll. This one, its head falls off, but I mean, got this bumpy skin and rah, rah, rah. Oh, this one's kind of neat. This one has both of its arms attached, and you kind of go around, and that way he's holding the club above his head to smash you. Yay! Now we're on to bag 1. That includes two-headed wolf. It's twice the normal heads. A dog. He's got a doggy. That is cool. Adventurer reading a book while holding a hammer. It's usually what I hold on to when I'm reading books, so. I'm not really sure. Got a really weird looking face. Maybe it's just weird armor. Maybe it's a bug person. Guess you could paint it either way. Dwarf with a axe and a sword. Archer. Snake. Big snake. Really big snake. Adventure lady with whatever weapon that is. This looks more, I think ranger. I think that's a bow. Could be a staff. I think it's supposed to be like she's walking. I mean, and really, would you use your bow like that, but as a walking stick? Let's see. Another cloaked guy. Big old cape. Halfling? Oh, there. Mule or donkey or whatever it is. The pickaxe there on the side. Ooh, Kirby sword. That's definitely one of the issues with bones, but hey, they're cheap. You need some heat and bend it back. I even have a video where I've done it. And it works well enough. Weird tongued shield. Yeah, I'm guessing evil guy, you know, the bat wing helmet kind of gives that away. Huh. The Grim Reaper. Actually kind of a cool sculpt. Very action oriented. That's another one that looks sort of like a monk. Obviously not unarmed, but still that monk class, which is a class you don't see too many minis for. So, this guy's got like a skull he's holding down in his hand, or dangling down there. So, elf lady. Got, oh, another monk. Girl monk. So they're making sure you're covered with your monks for, you know, your player characters, which is a nice thing for them to do. Dwarf lady with a hammer. So, being armed, another adventurer. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up. I don't care which one, just sort of a comparison of the shield size. It's not too far off. I was just starting to wonder, like, are those shields the same size? Not too far. Workable, at least. His cloak is much more. His cape is much more tattered than a lot of their capes have been. Viking kind of guy, you know, fantasy Viking, whatever dude. Dwarf that really wants you to pay attention at what's that way. What's over there? No, over there. Bald dude. Big sort of polearm looking weapon. Not too long a one, but it's like a wizard. And he's actually has fair detail on the face. I mean, I feel like the sculpts usually have pretty good detail, and it's just, it only sometimes comes through on the bones. Like, that one came through pretty well. Oh, that is cool. It's like a, what are they? Outside some Chinese restaurants, you have that kind of style, artistic style lion or dog or whatever it's considered. It's one of those. So that is neat. Halfling or gnome or whatever with some sort of spell cast between her hands. Knight in, you know, full armor. Again. But what? Another big bad kind of guy, like a mutant thing. You know, it's like arms and legs on one side, and this is a multi-piece in case it falls apart, are really big, and then small on the other. It looks like some sort of weird mutation kind of monster. And it comes in pieces. Oh no! Finally, bag 2. Feels like it has some bigger ones in it. Bag 2 looks nice. Let's see. We got, what are they, goblins? I think they're probably goblins. There have been a couple different styles of goblins with the Bones miniatures, of course, since they had the Pathfinder goblins and their own, and they may even have another now. Like Yeti, Sasquatch kind of guy. Like with the big staff, but yeah, it's kind of cool. And I think, yeah, here's a normal one that's just sort of monster without wielding weapons. So that is cool to have a Sasquatch or Yeti creature, Bigfoot, whatever you may decide to make it into. Oh, this one's nice. It's, I think they called this like a werebat. It's like lycanthrope bat person. And to make it look like it's flying, they have like a rock structure underneath it, which makes it a pretty tall one, but looks pretty cool. We do have a series of queer ones, which I'm likely to, I mean, ultimately I hardly painted them. This is whatever. I think these match some sculpts from one of the earlier bones, and they're just a new material. Like here's one with a hammer. But if I leave them clear, they can just stay like invisible heroes, so potion of invisibility, and maybe you grab one that's not quite yours, but that way you can keep track of if you're invisible for the players. And here's the rogue. Another quote hero, sword and board kind of one. And of course, if you're going to be invisible, you gotta have a mage to be doing it, right? Most likely. I'm sure there's other ways. Found some more of these Yeti people. This one has like a skull on its arm, like some sort of animal skull. Pauldron. If that's weird. And another just sort of savage one with a different pose. So that's cool. You have a little army of them. This little wild wolf kind of thing. Well, I say little, but it's pretty big. It's, I mean, compared to a person, it's a big wolf thing. And that's sort of a dude. Could even go a little more less medieval and a little more modern of a time setting with that guy, so that's good. You know, I like having some options that aren't just fantasy. Oh yeah, I think it's, was it Savage World or something? There was another set. So it's probably one of those. Like this guy has the gun even, so definitely going more modern. She's got a pistol. Man with a cane, and almost looks like maybe like a snake wrapped around his arm and cane. So that's kind of nifty. Another armed guy. And then we have this guy here with two weapons. You can kind of see, the guns don't have great detail on them, but what do you get for the price, right? Carrying on, we have this lady that looks some sort of mage or something, like she maybe even has a potion there in the other hand. This one's dual wielding a glaive and a sword. Glaive is likely a two-handed weapon, but oh well. Big half-orc kind of guy. The bull on his shields, that's nifty. A crocodile man. That's cool. Crocodile guy. Then of course the bear as well. Still holding on to his axe. That's neat. Another kind of orc dude. I'm guessing she's a spellcaster because she's actually lowering I was like, where's her arm? She's lowering her hood down below. That's kind of a cool pose. Another little sprue with some goblin dudes. We got some dungeon equipment. We have the stocks, I believe. Iron Maiden. Like little fire or something it looks like with like a dagger stuck in it, probably. Whatever, some sort of torture device. An even more inventive torture device with some assembly required. Ultimately, this isn't going to go together very well here. Well, maybe. The legs go on there. And the spindle goes on the side here. There we go. So the legs go in, but you have to glue it to get it to stay. And it's sort of like a torture table again. And then to end this, we have a few of the orc dudes that come in multiple pieces. Put that one's arm goes on, and you get him. This is another one where both of his arms have to go around in order to get this orc put together. Oh, I lost my arms. And finally, this dude has this part of his arm come on. And that is it. That is big old pile of bones. And that is just what was in the core set. Lot of fun. I feel like they won't fit back in the box. I'll have to get it back. But yeah. So, a lot of fun. I'll try to remember to probably just link to Reaper's site or something like that. Whatever I did before. Since obviously they're not out at the time of releasing this video, the Kickstarter's still shipping, so have that. And hopefully in a couple of days, I'm hoping to have the rest of what I got to unbox and have that edited by this weekend. Cross my fingers. But we'll see. If not, I'll do it later. It will occur, but yeah, hopefully it'll be up by this weekend. So, but yeah, I'll link down below if you want to find some bones yourself. Of course, you may have to wait until until they're actually released to the public. But of course, there's plenty of older bones, which is the same style material, a cheap miniature, just unpainted, cheap plastic miniature that's durable, and yeah, it's sort of in that good working quality. They're not show quality, like you're not gonna get them for display necessarily. At least not a lot of them. But in general, they're great for actually using at the table, for gaming with. They're a good, rough and ready kind of quality miniature. So, yeah, check it out. Thank you for watching, and have a good day. Bye.